is up, my fellow gamers? In today's video we got our highest damage build for the class change 1 of the Ranger. Like and sub for more amazing gaming content. We got a snowstorm outside. It is freezing over here where I am. So we also do have a couple new coupon codes that I was a bit late to, but we did have a brand new one released just this morning. So let's go over these codes. We're going to head on over to our settings. We're going to go to redeem code. And this is for, I believe, I don't know, is this global only or is this C servers? It doesn't say. Regardless, this is going to be our code. It's going to be Muffin Buddy. So whatever server you're on, go ahead and enter that. I am on the global server, so you can see it did work for me on the global server. And we have another one right here. This says global server only. We'll go ahead, we'll enter this. All right, let's jump into this. First, let's go over our skills. So if we head on over to our recommended, before we were doing the gust arrow for our skills. Now we have the hawk arrow. So again, it's pretty similar for our skills. You're just gonna make sure you select the hawk arrow, do the recommended, because again, the recommended is the best. Just click apply it to all of your different game modes that you're playing. However, there is one special thing that I do want to mention is there is one skill that now that we're in kind of like this harder difficulty, you're going to notice like the bosses are a lot more difficult to take down and stuff like that. There is one specific skill that you may want to start switching in, not for when you're farming. So I mean, like right now you can see like I'm just farming in the casual area, but when you're doing your trials and going up against these boss battles, you may want to start to switch in this specific skill, and that is going to be the dispelling shot. So what this does is it's going to dispel the buffs on the target and surrounding enemies. So we're at a point now where the buffs and stuff, they really play a huge impact. You can no longer just kind of muscle your way through unless you're like a big pay to win player. I'm free to play, haven't spent any money, and I'm a pretty casual player at that. For our talents, we are going to make sure again you switch over to the hawk arrow. Originally we were in the gust arrow, so make sure you put that on now. The forging foundation for our second slot is still going to be the same. And then the third slot, when you reach Ranger level 40, you are going to choose Zealous Burden for that third slot, and this is going to increase our crit rate by a percentage. For our hawk arrow, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking the left side first. So you can see it right here. We're going to take basic attack blessing. From there, we're going to go down to the right side for Falcon's Blessing. And then from there, we're going to take the left side for Collected Mind. I really love this one. It's going to increase the crit damage of the basic attack by 50%. That really adds up a lot. You notice when you increase your crit damage in this game, it gives you a huge power boost. Crit damage is actually one of the more harder stats to increase. And then again, we're going to take the left side going to Energy Arrow. And then the Forging Foundation, this one's pretty straightforward. You're just going down the line, taking everything as you can. When it comes to our little pet guy, we have the same basic setup that we had previously for our Wayfarer. It doesn't really change. We're still having Demon Hound as our #1 option. The second option is going to be the Ice Colt Valley. And then the third option is going to be either Thunder or Smarty. Now, unfortunately, you can see I don't have Ice Colt Valley, but I do have Thunder and Smarty. So if you don't have Ice Colt Valley, you can rock something like this where I have Demon Hunter, Thunder, and Smarty. It's not like the most ideal, but it's better than, you know, nothing. But once you do get Ice Colt Valley, then you would just kind of switch that in between whatever one you want to keep. I personally like Thunder a little bit better than Smarty, so when I get Ice Colt Valley, I'll probably switch out Smarty and then I'll keep Thunder in there. For our pet skills, this is pretty straightforward. I would say that it's going to depend on your needs, like what you specifically need to improve in your stats, but there are some that I think are a bit better than others. For our offensive, you could take something like the, if you do have it, the legendary one, the orange one, it's superb attack. Or you could do like what I'm doing right now is crit, just because I want to increase my crit number. You could do accuracy if you're really hurting for accuracy as well. For our defense, we're going to go with HP. I think the HP is the best one out of all of our options. The block doesn't help us out really too much. neither does endurance. So I feel like you don't really have an option for the defensive one. Pretty much the HP is going to be the best bet. For our balanced one, we have superb expertise. This is our orange legendary one. And then for the other balanced one, we have hit and dodge. I think the hit and dodge one's really awesome because we're getting our crit increased, and we're also getting an evade increased, which I would say is kind of the defensive stance. Instead of increasing our defense or our endurance or block, with the ranger class, we want to increase our evade. For my thunder pet, I have this a little bit different. I actually have the improved crit damage. So we're getting a crit damage increase, which I really, really like. When I put this on and I started upgrading this, my overall power started just skyrocketing every time I increase this, as opposed to other ones. So I noticed that like increasing your crit damage gives you a huge power increase to like your overall power. For our defense, we just have the HP one, and then this one I have accuracy and endurance. I had to go with the accuracy because I was really hurting on accuracy. Now that I'm into harder difficulty, my accuracy took a big hit, and I was at like 98% for my accuracy, and my character started actually missing his attacks. So I had to kind of get a little bit desperate and throw that on there. And then for our Smarty, we don't have him leveled up too much. We just have the first one, which is going to increase our accuracy again. I was personally hurting for accuracy, so I really had to do that. When it comes to our mounts, there is one mount that's really good for us. But out of the 4 different mounts we can go ahead and have, I think Toby is going to be the best one for our ranger class. We're going to get that increase for our haste and tenacity. And then if we take a look at his opening skill, grants the character the blessing of the alpaca, which is going to increase our attack by a percentage. I do, however, like the rock because I think this one is also really strong. It's going to increase our crit, our endurance, which isn't helping out too much, but increasing our crit is good. But I really love the skill on this guy. Fires a crystal ray to weaken all enemies, and it's going to increase the damage they take from you by 10%. So I really like his opening skill. So I would honestly recommend either one of these. I would say Toby or Rock, with Toby being my #1 option, and then the Rock being like a really close second option. When it comes to your gear, some things that you want to look out for recasting: accuracy, one of your most important ones; determination, crit, attack, haste. I would say those are like the main 5. They're the same main 5 from before when we were doing our Wayfarer build. So it really doesn't change with our gear. We're still looking for recasting the same kind of abilities. Take a look at my stats that I have going on. This is free to play, and this is super casual. For our crit percentage, we got 21. For our determination, 12.6. I would still like to get that up higher. Our accuracy is now at 103. Like I mentioned before, it was at 98. So we did have a 2% chance to actually miss our attacks. Our block is 6.2, which doesn't really matter. Attack speed 114. Our haste is 5.5. Mastery has went up a lot, 18.4. And if we take a look, mastery gives us a percentage bonus when dealing damage. And then our evade 10, endurance 4.7. We did do a little bit of buffing to our crit damage, so you can see that our crit damage is actually 209.8% instead of just that regular 200%. So we are getting an extra 10% crit damage, which does help out a decent amount. That is it. I hope you guys and girls enjoyed the video. Stay happy, stay safe. I'll see y'all later. Peace.